Hey gang, Ryan from Mana Bluff here. Time to get some draft on. Jumping into a Theros draft here. Sorry for missing a post last week. I was really sick and was unable to get anything fired off for the website, so my apologies. But I'm really excited to get back into action. It's been forever. Let's get this draft fired. Okay, here it goes. Let's adjust everything accordingly. Wow, a pretty sweet pack in general. Fatal Return is not the most exciting thing here. I have an interesting decision. There's 2 good red cards, 2 good green cards, and 2 good blue cards. So anything I pick, I'm passing a little bit to the left, which is not a huge deal to me. I think a Crone Conscriptors just has the biggest upside, but I've kind of jumped into the camp of not liking red. Not so much because of how other people feel, that red just tends to be overdrafted or just tends to dry up in the Theros pack, which is so much weaker, but because I actually suck at playing red. I'm just not the aggressive drafter. I'm much more on the sort of archetype plan, or liking to force black, as I did a whole bunch in Theros. But I do think a Crone Conscriptors is just that good, and it's definitely worth starting out and building around, although Raised by Wolves and Swordwise Center is also kind of where I like to be, and I wouldn't mind going there. In fact, that could be something I would do in a green-red deck. But we'll start with the Conscriptors. Now we're passing the Bolt and just kind of pay attention to it. We're past the Mythic Rare, Champion of Stray Souls, although that's not what I'm looking to be doing right now. If I was going to stay with the Crone Conscriptor plan, I'd go with Everflame Eidolon. But I'm also eyeing this Asphyxiate, Servant, and Archetype of Courage. A common is missing, or a foil, which probably means if an archetype is here and Asphyxiate's here or something, it was a red or a white card, thinking like a Crowan, Skyguard, or like a Fall of the Hammer. And so I'm actually kind of happy just to grab the Asphyxiate, because black is where I want to be anyway, and it's a really nice removal spell. And I don't mind being red-black, even though it's not particularly awesome. Wow, this is a pretty late Crowan Skyguard. Kind of confused. But I also like this Asphyxiate, and I really like being in black. And seeing 2 Asphyxiates past kind of suggests to me that that's where I want to be. And again, I just like black so much in Theros that this is my bias kind of taking. I would have been happy to grab this and start moving into white. Still want to pay attention that this is here. Noticing like the red isn't particularly grand. So if I had picked up that Eidolon from last pack, that would have been fun to go with the Skyguard. But I'm perfectly fine just taking the 2 solid removal spells and kind of moving on from there. Here, might just take the Eidolon, the Nyxborn Eidolon, stay on black, kind of forcing that. I do like Noble Quarry quite a bit, but it's not something that makes me want to move into green on its own. Ashiok's Adept is certainly a fine 3-drop, but I think I'd rather have the versatility of the Bestow creature. And then the other cards are playable, but nothing to jump and for joy about, in my opinion. Still starting to see some more green, so I think now I will start moving into the green-black game plan. There wasn't quite as much blue, I felt, whereas I felt like there's a little bit more green than I've seen. Glimpse of the Sun God, though. This is the most powerful card of the pack, and we did see that Skyguard, so maybe I'm doing the black-white game plan, which was always my favorite color combination from base Theros. The thing is, while I was sick, I was watching a lot of draft videos, which was super awesome, and seeing a lot of different drafters' take on the format, and it seems like black-white has kind of become a popular archetype, which makes me happy, just because I like it so much, but also means it's a deck that's a little more known. I'll go ahead and take Glimpse of the Sun God instead of Nissing Demlog on the off chance that white continues to be open. It might have been better just to start going into the green route at that point. Here, there's really no strong pick. I could just take a random 4-drop to fill out black, but I don't think I need that. I could still consider going red and take another random 4-drop. I think if I'm starting to think white-black control, I will just take another dorky removal spell. Even though it's not particularly awesome, it's certainly a thing. Here I like Necrobite quite a bit. I think it does a lot of good stuff in a black deck, and very much is a great card in a black-white deck. I really don't need another Excoriate. We have already a couple of removal spells that are pretty conditional. I don't want to load up on this. I'll probably get Divine Verdicts in the next 2 packs. And now we're in just the dorky picks of the Born of the Gods pack, which tends to be pretty underwhelming, except it's not. There are actually 3 very playable cards here. Can start moving into that green, though I feel like it's a little bit late. I'm not too bummed about it. Deepwater Hypnotist, I'm not going to do as much because blue was way less. Or there's this Ragemonger, which is a 2/3 in these colors and could possibly get the Minotaur thing going. I think it's just a little bit too far out of the Born of the Gods pack to really start pushing a Ragemonger. I would have had to pick up a lot more Minotaurs. So I am just going to kind of diversify here, which is not exactly what I love to do, but I think it's perfectly fine considering there wasn't any strong pick in the color that I wanted there. And I'm pretty much abandoning red. I don't think there's been any good red pack passed, and the next 2 packs aren't going to be great either. Here, I'll take the Mortal's Ardor just as it looks like we're most likely going with a little bit of white, and I don't care as much about the Eye Gouge, though it is certainly a fine sideboard card. I think having the trick will be a little bit more relevant, though it's not really a great trick. Nullify is the best card in the pack, but I'm not going into 4 colors. Servant of Tamaret Tabling is awesome. I'm going to slam it. I think it's a great card. Nyxborn Shieldmate is okay too, and it kind of suggests that white is a bit open at the table, which I'm super stoked. I want to be base black with a little bit of white, but if we get some pretty powerful white cards late in pack 3, I'll be also happy there. So I think that's just going to seal the deal in what we're doing. Martel's Resolve is actually a decent trick. I'm happy to grab it, and for some reason white does dry up, going black-green, and we're not, again, doing Nullify, or other cards don't matter. This is actually playable, and I don't want the Gorgon's Head. Hold It Bay is barely playable. And we're not doing the super duper Chromanticore deck, so don't need my fixing at all. Okay, let's clean some of this up. Still not too sure if green or white is going to be our second color after black. Black dried a little bit up. I think it could have just been that those packs just had the weak black cards, which is actually why black tends to be open in the Theros packs, because no one really likes black. Ooh, hello Ashiok. Might have to slam some value there for tickets, though the pick should be Grey Merchant of Asphodel. How much is Ashiok? Yeah, Ashiok's worth like 4 to 5 tickets right now, so I'm going to grab it. I'm really bummed passing the Grey Merchant, because I think that's exactly what I want to be picking a bunch of up. But Ashiok's too cool and too powerful. I am looking to see the Scholar of Athreos table, though. That's something to note. There's no green cards in the pack. I think anyone playing white is probably going to pick up the Ordeal or the Alciad more than anything else. Shipwreck Singer is pretty tasty as well. But we're just going to take the value and immediately hide it. Huh. So this is interesting. Thinking that Scholar coming around makes me want to kind of stick on the white game plan. But here there's a Lash of the Whip and a Nessian Courser and a Voyaging Satyr, all of which I'd really like for the deck if I was going green. Really, I don't have anything super strong in white. It's more like we saw that Skyguard come pretty late. And I think we saw a lot more green in being passed late, even though it wasn't super strong green. So I'm kind of happy to start solidifying here. And if that's the case, what do I want? Just a solid 3-drop or the Satyr? I think the Satyr is going to be more relevant in this type of deck. So we'll grab it. We're not going to be super aggressive with Tormented Hero, but I'm looking to kind of get some more fatties online. And Temple of Abandon could be played just for Scry. Tormented Hero if I just needed a creature, but they're not as relevant in what the deck's trying to do. Wow, and then there's a Favored Hoplite. Though I kind of feel like I just let that ship sail, and the Favored Hoplite isn't really great in the black-white build, so I don't care too much. But here's just another pack with no green, just based on what was opened. I mean, maybe someone 2 picks down was green and grabbed a green card, but it looks more like there just wasn't a lot open in that color. Plus, also, since green was kind of being passed by me originally, I may not see a lot of green in this pack. I'm just bummed to take a Bloodtoll Harpy as a pretty weak pick. But I really don't want to jump into blue despite having the Ashiok with Vaporkin, and since I'm still not too sure, I'm oscillating between white and green, just have to take the little Harpy there. Oh wow, lots of good cards here. So Pharika's Cure is my go-to, again knowing that I just want to push heavy black. Read the Bones would be great. Sedge Scorpion's pretty awesome as well. And I actually think that I'm going to take the Sedge Scorpion here. Black was pretty open. I think I'm going to get these pieces of removal, and I do already have 2 Asphyxiates and a Necrobite. I think that if I'm looking to start building this deck, it's going to be a Sedge Scorpion that's going to add the most to it. Arguably Read the Bones, but I'm actually kind of happy to grab that here. And we get a really nice late Erebos' Emissary. A little bit of red still floating around, which is kind of odd to me since we passed some, but that's fine. Pharika's Mender is also a really tasty card, especially since we are going green, but I might even get one of those later, and I do think Erebos' Emissary is just that much better. I could take the Rescue if we end up getting that kind of deck where it's Gray Merchants, bouncy, but already passed one, and there's only 1 pack left, so that's probably not going to be the deal. I think I'd rather have the Dark Betrayal as a nice sideboard card. Don't really care about Traveler's Amulet, though I guess I could splash my my Glimpse. Yeah, I'd rather just have a nice strong sideboard card. That one is really good. Return Phalanx is good. Boon is fine, but I already have a Necrobite, and I do want to shore up this game here. It might be time to grab the Amulet to splash Ashiok, though. I don't think Ashiok... I mean, any Planeswalker is really good and limited, but Ashiok is not exactly like the most insane thing in the world. But having Return Phalanx, being in green, it does mean that I'm looking to maybe get that Amulet, and maybe I should have taken that last pick instead of the Dark Betrayal. In fact, I'm kind of sure that's what I wanted to have done. Ooh, Cyclophoenix super late. What a wonderful card. Definitely what I want for my deck. Yeah. Still red going around. There's that Scholar that I thought would table. But we're out of the white plan now. I don't necessarily want to do that. But I don't think Scourge Mark is part of the deck either. Am I short playables? I just want to take the foil. I should take the Scourge Mark. This is me, like, if... Wow, Lash Table, that's cool. Not that it's an insane card, but it's definitely playable, and a decent removal spell. This is in case, like, I open Elspeth. Which would be really greedy, since I already opened Ashiok, but, you know, it could happen. I'll take Prowler's Helm for the side, though don't see myself ever playing it. Is there any chance of me going back to white? I think it's more about splashing this Ashiok. We didn't see a lot of white in that pack. There was that favored Hoplite that we passed, but that was not particularly amazing for our deck. I think we are in the right colors. We didn't see a lot of green this pack either, but that was to be expected. So I do like where we're at. I think the only mispick is I think this should definitely have been a Traveler's Amulet in case I wanted to splash this Ashiok, which I definitely am interested in considering. And Viper's Kiss is great for the sideboard here. Ooh, maybe should have done a null. Whatever. Dorky Combat Trick isn't really great in the deck, but that's fine. This is a good combat trick for the deck. Hello, Ashiok. Depending upon how much good defense we have, Ashiok could get pretty alright. In grindy matches, it might be coming in. We'll see. But I'm back to this being the base deck. And then I do think I'm pretty well positioned for the third pack to get a bit of black and green. Maybe I screwed that up by passing the Gray Merchant from my first pack, but I doubt it. It was clear that I took a rare. And there could have been a better card there than a Gray Merchant. As in my money Ashiok. Well, what do you know? So many foil white cards. Isn't that a blast? Pharika's Cure is kind of the go-to. This Heliod's Emissary starts tempting me. And I think if I was disciplined, I would just take the Cure, which is perfectly fine. But suddenly having an Emissary and my other white cards, because Emissary is way more powerful than anything that I have that is green here. You should not model what I'm doing and being so indecisive, especially this late in a pack, But I just really like Heliod's Emissary, and if I can make it work, the black-white deck, I'm going to. Wingsteed Rider, Phalanx Leader. Okay, we're definitely grabbing a white card. We're kind of lucky right now because we're kind of getting rewarded for taking the Emissary because Time Defeat's the second best card here. But now what we need to do is quickly decide what else this deck is going to be trying to do. And Phalanx Leader is a little more powerful for sure, but Wingsteed Rider might be what this deck needs more of. I'm glad we have that Mortal's Ardor. I think it's just take the Phalanx Leader. We have a number of triggers already for it. We can start trying to get a little bit more. This isn't happening as of right now. Maybe, I don't know. Yeah, Phalanx Leader, let's go for it. Wingsteed Rider is awesome and would love to have it. It's kind of a bummer they're in the same pack, but Phalanx Leader is just too grand. The reason why I was considering Wingsteed Rider is because I don't have a lot of creatures, so I'm not exactly like building out an amazing huge board, but I do think the upside of Phalanx Leader is like pretty insane. Here we might start trying to go a little bit more aggressive. Surprised there's no black coming. Maybe I really did push someone into black, or maybe I misread it in the first pack with the 2 Asphyxiates. I'm not entirely sure. Can I be this aggressive? It means this returned Phalanx is not good. And we only have 2 other 2-drops. I have a Dorky Hold-Up Bay, Immortal's Ardor, Necrobite's fine. Yeah, I'm not super aggressive here, but there's also no other strong card in the pack. So I think this is going to be sort of a wasted pick, but I don't want a Burnished Heart or a Flesh Mad Steed, even the Burnished Heart for like my Ashiok. We're just going to see if this starts working here. Disciple I do like. I do need more creatures. Sip of Hemlock's very good though. Now I'm at that awkward point because I sort of jumped into this a little too late to where I'm a little bit in between being aggressive and being controlling. I think really only the Hoplite's the bad pick. Phalanx Leader is also a controlling card. If you just get it out there and then start slowly building upon it, that's fine. I think the Disciple is very, very good, but I think I need a really strong removal spell here, and hopefully I'll get another Disciple. Baleful Eidolon is exactly what I want in this deck. Being able to withstand Phalanx Leader or just have early defense, that's awesome. So I'm super stoked on that. Haven't seen a lot of powerful green. Saw the Nessian Courser, but that's just a nice filler green card. Yeah, it looks like someone moved into black, or I misread the signal in pack 1, because we're not getting that much awesome black cards now. Here, do I want a Chosen or just another 3-drop? I am really light on creatures, so we'll grab it. How many heroic triggers do we have? We're not exactly a heroic deck, but I do want Phalanx Leader to kind of have a couple of dudes on it. 1, 2, we'll count those as 3, because I don't know if I'm playing both. 4, 5, 6. We have a couple of heroic triggers, and Chosen's not going to do much, since all I have is 1 Phalanx Leader. So yeah, I'll just take a random 3 and a random 2. That's actually fine. Filler. Another Blood Toll Heartbeat, possibly? Yeah, I don't think the Evangel is doing a whole lot in my deck. Returned Centaur, or Chosen. Suddenly we have a fairly aggressive deck. Our 2 1x cards, do people even say that? 1x? Aren't entirely amazing. They're pretty nice to kind of punch through a little bit of damage at the end. Yeah, maybe we're going to build an aggressive build. How many triggers do you have, though? I just counted. 1, 2... Oh yeah, that guy should be gone. 1, 2, 3. I think we're going to take the Chosen. I don't really need another 4-drop. I have 3 good 4-drops, and I might want this extra heroic trigger. And I'll just cut a 2-headed Cerberus. We'll take a Flesh Mad Steed. Might make it instead of like this Returned Phalanx if we really try to go on the aggressive black-white plan. Could be good. Could be super fun. How's that looking if that's what we are doing? Take the Bronze Sable, though I think we've got plenty of dorky 2s. Might actually play this Sable over the Steed, since I don't have anything that really cares about devotion besides the Disciple. Not too sure. Do I really need to excoriate? Well, I do like the removal suite that we have. Yeah, I think I like this. Mediocre aggro deck. We'll make a cut here somewhere. Got to keep all of our creatures in because we're so creature light. Probably just get rid of the hold at bay. The thing is, I do like it as a heroic trigger. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We have 7 ways to trigger heroic. However, 4 of them are bestow, and they're kind of late game triggers, which is not particularly amazing. Just cut the null there. So yeah, I'll have to make a decision or two about just how I want this deck to play out. And right now I'm leaning towards getting rid of the hold at bay. Or maybe even the Disciple of Phoenix. No, I mean, even if I'm an aggressive deck, this still gets a card out of hand. And can be fine with a Phalanx Leader, so we'll see. Give me a moment. Okay, here's the initial build. 24 cards, so we have to cut one. First you'll notice our nice sideboard cards, Dark Betrayal, Viper's Kiss, and then we have Little Dorky, Return Phalanx, and Excoriate. This is definitely the best card that I'm keeping on the board, but it just doesn't really go with what I'm trying to do with this deck, which is basically trying to beat down. Which scares me, because that's not how I play these colors. I definitely like the more controlling build, but I think this was kind of fun, and we'll see how it goes. Poor Ashiok's here. Can't really splash Ashiok, but there you go. My decisions on what my last card to cut is just taking out the weakest card, which is Hold at Bay. However, I do like it as a combat trick that a lot of people don't play around, or just having a combat trick in these colors, or just the fact that my 2 heroic guys are pretty decent and having more ways to trigger it, which I'm light on, is cool. But then that also makes me think this Favored Hoplite might not be a card for this deck, even though I'm trying to be aggressive, and this is obviously a nice aggressive card. I don't have 20 bazillion ways to target, because I have so many removal spells that I'm playing. So that makes me think about the Hoplite. And then I'm also considering this Disciple of Phoenix as a card to cut, because even though I really love this card, it is a little bit more on the control route. We're not going to get super value out of it, and that's what I'm doing on turn 4 and not really helping punch through damage. It's not really what my deck wants to do. And the last consideration is just cutting a dorky 2-drop, like the Fleshmad Steed or Bronze Sable. Even though I want to be aggressive, I do have a number of 2-drops, and those are the cards that potentially like the least amount of impact. And actually, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to cut this Fleshmad Steed. Keep the Bronze Sable in because it doesn't have the drawback. Might trade the cards out if I want to, if I'm not worried about, you know, a bunch of Viper's Kisses or Spark Jolts and stuff. I don't need, you know, or X1s are bad, then we'll trade it. Or if I'm playing against another really nice aggressive deck, I might want to play the Fleshmad Steed, have more cards to trade off with and mess around. So I think that's where I want to go. I'm only at 14 creatures, which could be a little bit wrong. I'm not sure that this was the correct right pick, but that's just kind of what my gut's telling me, that I still want to have a powerful Disciple, I do want to be aggressive, and I do want more combat tricks and more heroic triggers for my 2 powerful heroic guys. So that's what I'm going to do. Actually, maybe I do cut the Disciple because of the double black. No, because I'm doing double Asphyxiate. That's happening anyway. So I think 9/8 is appropriate. However, I think I want to switch it around because of the turn 1 Hoplite, turn 2 Phalanx Leader. Yeah, I want to be able to get Asphyxiate going, but technically I don't need it quite as quickly as I need the white cards. So we're going to bust it out that way and hope that that works pretty alright. Ooh, I can't wait. I haven't played a match in forever.